Up. So this originally was not something that I was going to talk about, but I've seen it so much that I've decided to talk about it. My thoughts on one silverback gorilla, I'm assuming a male, versus 100 men. Now, I do think the men win, but not all 100 of them, obviously. And it comes from listening to people's opinions on both sides and realizing that a gorilla, as a human would get very tired. They get very tired, so they would. A gorilla would get very tired. Sorry about that, but I have my PS5 on, and when you scroll over to the game, it plays like the theme music to the game. If you didn't know, but yeah, here's my opinion. While this gorilla is like flinging or even tearing apart and massacring the men in the front, like let's say the 100 men surround it in a circle, and there's like 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, right? And imagine that like 30 jump on his back. Just dogpile this fucker. While it's distracted by the ones in the front. And it's already starting to get tired from like flinging bodies. Then you have people that are going to grab onto its legs. Imagine there's like 8 on each leg. There's like 8 trying to attack each arm, you know? So that's 30, 38, 46, or no, wait, 38, yeah, 46. So that's 46 of the 100 being utilized, and let's say that this is after he's wiped out like 15 of the men, you know. Now, the reason I say about 30 jumping on top of him and dogpiling him, and I know some people would die in this exercise, right? Because you have people saying, oh, I'm going to go for the eyeballs, I'm going to go for the whatever. If you have him distracted on the front end, which, let's not forget the video of the gigantic fucking gorilla cowering and running away from a goose because it's doing this. The goose wasn't even making noise. The goose wasn't even going, it was just, and this gorilla scurries the fuck away. And I know that this animal knows it could rip the shit out of that goose, so why is it fucking scared, right? Maybe it just thinks goose are weird looking. Like, geese are weird looking. It's like, I'm not fucking with that. It's weird looking. It's got secret weapons. But, and humans are scared of geese. My cat's outside. She wanted out. She was at the door. She went out willingly. And she's going to do this all fucking night now. And I'm not letting her in because she's an outside cat. And it is not cold, okay? It's in the mid-60s. It is not fucking cold. She's fluffy as shit. And it's raining, but there's a porch. She's not getting wet. So before somebody tells me my cat is being hurt out there, she's not. She has food. She has water. She has a little box she can crawl into that has blankets and all kinds of comfy shit that she could lay in. She needs to shut up. The reason she's an outside cat is because when she had a litter box and a nice fucking place to sleep in here, she chose to shit on the floor. But, back to my point here. Imagine about 25 to 30 of these men just jump on the back, dogpile it. And yes, gorillas can lift 1,800 pounds. The average weight of a man is about 180 to 200 pounds. And I'm being generous. Yes, I realize there are some very large people in America, and there's some very skinny, tiny, petite men as well. Not as an insult, just honestly. But I'm thinking average here. It's between like 160, 170, and 200, 220. Depending on height, weight, whatever. Now, that is well over 1,800 pounds, right? And my theory is, if a bunch of people jumped on its back after it was already half wore out from trying to, beat up the other ones, or even if 100 people started making an immense amount of noise and it's tried to run and they catch up to it after it's winded. Because here's the thing, I believe if you made enough noise, a gorilla would run. I believe they're like a bear. If you made yourself intimidating and loud enough, they would run. And if they did, there's always a chance you could chase them and wear them out. And if you did, by the time they get to the exhaustion, they're not going to have hurt as many men as people have assumed in this scenario. Depending on how it goes out, is what I'm saying, or how it plays out. But if like 25 to 30 men all jump on this thing's back and suffocate it, because if it's weighed down, eventually it's going to get to a point where it can't expand its lungs. And I believe that's called like asphyxiation or something like that. Personally, I think that would be the way to go. But obviously, if we're being realistic here and someone went and randomly selected 100 men to go and say, look, you have to do this. Like, let's say you were drafted to fight a fucking gorilla, right? And, 100 men. And they tell you you're allowed to do whatever you have to do. You can bring weapons, you can whatever. So in a realistic scenario, if given every opportunity, people are going to be armed. They're going to have safety gear on. They're going to do everything in their power to keep themselves safe and to go home to their families and to make sure this thing fucking dies. But if we're talking about strictly a scenario where you only have your hands and your raw self, I personally think that 100 men would still win because it's one gorilla. And yes, it's a gorilla and it's a silverback, but it's not King Kong, okay? Some of you are acting as if this thing is fucking King Kong. I'm not calling you dumb if you think the gorilla wins. Okay, I'm not saying that at all. Scenarios where the gorilla may win is if it's backed into a corner, it feels extremely threatened, and it just snaps and goes, pardon the phrase here, but apeshit. And people haven't thought of a way to combat that, and they just get torn apart, and they all run, and it just starts grabbing them and ripping them apart. But even then, there is 100 bodies that it has to go through, and it's a herbivore for one thing, so let's just figure this out as well. Not that it wouldn't eat meat, but if it's a herbivore, it's used to picking up plants and just... Plants don't run from you. Plants don't fight back when you try and take them down. Neither do bugs, if it eats bugs once in a while, okay? So, I don't think it wins, because let's say it decides, I'm going to fight back and really give it a go. It's not used to things fighting back when it comes at it, because it's not used to hunting. If it was used to hunting and it was an omnivore and it went after, like, I don't know what kind of things exist in the same wilderness that gorillas exist in, okay? Like, let's say smaller primates, because that's the only thing I can think of, or if there are squirrels of some kind, or like bunny rabbits, or even like mice, right? Something that it would probably eat would be much smaller, so it wouldn't put up much of a fight, so it still wouldn't be good at combating any kind of fight or obstacle or, anything that would happen with anything that it would consider prey, even if it was an omnivore. But it's a herbivore. So it's really, really, really not used to its food fighting back. And I know that humans would not be on the fucking menu if it did fucking eat meat, right? But what I'm saying is, it's not going to have the, oh, you want to fight me back? Okay, I'll keep fighting. It's not going to be used to that. And what I think is ridiculous is you have people saying they're going to jump on its back and choke it out. Do you know how big around a fucking gorilla's neck must be? I have not looked at the measurements, but there are some big-necked motherfucking people. Have you seen Big Ed? You couldn't even choke him the fuck out. And he's what, like 5'3"? 260 pounds? Got a big-ass neck like this. You couldn't even choke his ass out. Talking about, I'm gonna choke it out, I'm gonna jump on its back and put it in his... No, you're not! Not even with your legs. Not even with your legs. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Because you're gonna get bucked off, and you're gonna break your neck. That's what's gonna happen. And I know this is a hypothetical scenario, right? But, like... Yeah, I don't think that the 100 men will lose, but I do not think all of the 100 men will remain. So we're going to start with 100 men and probably end up with about 80. That's what I think. But anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. If y'all cared. If you were sick of hearing about it, I apologize for talking about it, but if there's anything else you want me to talk about that's a trending topic that I have any knowledge of or any opinion on, let me know, and I'll let you know if I have an opinion on it, and maybe talk about it. Thanks for watching. Bye.